And we're back at the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago, Illinois, in the United Center. And we are joined now by Juliana Stratton, the Lieutenant Governor of Illinois. Lieutenant Governor Stratton, welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, you all have put on a phenomenal event.
I am so proud.
You can't stop smiling.
I cannot. I'm tired on the inside. I think all of us can hear our voices going. We've been talking and yelling and just filled with so much excitement. But even with that, as busy as it has been, when I think about our planning this convention and then being in a place where everyone is just having a great time, they're seeing this world-class city, and of course we have Madam Vice President Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket along with Governor Tim Walz. It is just exciting, it's full of energy, and I think that we are on our way to the best convention that has ever been hosted.
Talk about that energy, because I don't think you would debate with me that there was a little less energy a few weeks ago. There's been an incredible and exponential, I think, shift in the energy. Talk about what you think is contributing to that shift, and with the momentum that is being created, how do you all maintain that energy through the 5th of November?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just have to start by acknowledging the incredible leadership of President Joe Biden, who's been one of the most effective presidents of my lifetime, and all of the things that he's done in conjunction with his Vice President, Kamala Harris, who, as we now know, we have a truncated campaign season. She has to tell her story, but she can look at those last 3.5 years of what she's been able to accomplish as the partner in governance to President Biden, just like I do as the partner in governance to Governor J.B. Pritzker. I think the energy is certainly on high. Energy alone is not going to take us over the finish line. This is going to be a close race. It's going to require everyone to get engaged, to not just say that it's momentum, although the momentum helps, I must say.
Right.
But this is going to take a lot of work, and people are going to have to not just sort of rest on their laurels and think, oh, this is exciting. It is. And it's historic. It is. But it's also going to be a fight. And we're going to have to make sure that people vote, that they educate others, that they get others out to vote, that they make sure that they make phone calls, donate, support, do whatever they can. As Michelle Obama told us last night, we have to do something.
You are the lieutenant governor in a state with a major urban center, Chicago, which is where we're sitting now. We could be talking about Los Angeles. We could be talking about Detroit. We could be talking about Washington, D.C. There are so many challenges facing the communities, and particularly the communities of color in our urban centers. What are some of the things that you see? What are some of the things that you're whispering or saying very loudly to the Democratic nominee about what are the needs and what can the government do to assist in those needs in our urban centers?
Well, look, I think first and foremost, government has one purpose, and that is to improve the lives of the people that we serve. That's what I get up to do every single day, and I know that that's what Vice President Harris is doing, and she will do that as the President of the United States. Think about some of the issues that any person is experiencing. We want safe communities. We want access to health care. We want our children to be educated and educated well. We want them to be able to go on to college without being saddled with debt. We want access to child care. These are American issues. And certainly in some of our communities, our black communities, our brown communities, and our cities where we see some of the additional challenges, especially for our communities of color, it's important for us to make sure that their voices are at the table to lead us forward about what the solutions are for their communities. We know that student debt is an issue. So we need to make sure that as we're looking at eliminating student debt, that we recognize it will have a disproportionate impact on black families. If families can't go to a child care provider that's in their community, we know that they're not going to be able to work, right? So these are things that Vice President Harris is talking about, how to give an opportunity to everyone and to expand the middle class, and that's what she's going to do.
Final question for you. When we hear about a lot of the issues that you've just talked about, social safety net programs. I've always said, I always told my students, budgets are numeric representations of priority. And we hear all too often now, we don't have the money. So what do you see out of a Harris-Walz administration that would help address we don't have the money?
Well, I think, first of all, what we have shown here in Illinois, which is why I'm so excited to have this convention here, is that Democrats are, in fact, the party of fiscal responsibility. I mean, right here in our state, 6 consecutive balanced budgets, 9 credit rating upgrades, eliminated our bill backlog. We have $2 billion plus in our rainy day fund. This is what we've done in a state where we have really become the epicenter of progressive values. And so what we hope to showcase here in this convention is what we can do in Illinois is be a model for other states and the federal government to say, yes, we need to address some of these social ills, but we also need to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. And as Vice President Harris said in her economic plan, cut taxes for the middle class, so restore the child tax credit so families can have a little more money in their pocket. When families have more money in their pocket, they can take care of their children, and some of those issues are going to go away.
Because it becomes a matter of you can pay me now or pay me later. If you don't provide for the middle class and for the working class, you're either going to pay now or you're going to pay later.
And I think what we're hearing is that Vice President Harris wants to make sure that we invest in our communities.
Exactly.
Because when we do that, the return on the investment is high.
Thank you very much, Juliana Stratton, Lieutenant Governor of this wonderful state of Illinois. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful event.
Glad you're here.
All right, folks, we are here at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, Illinois. Thank you again, ma'am.
Thank you.
And Politics and Color is where you are. Stay right here. There's a whole lot more.